Haikyuu has many different characters which are awesome, but one which is particularly well developed is Tobio Kageyama. The show starts off with a match between two teams, in which one is clearly way better than the other team, which is seemingly so unskilled that people wonder why they are even playing volleyball. On the winning team is of course our genius setter Tobio Kageyama. The only focus of this part of the anime is to show the audience how self-centered and egoistic Kageyama is. Despite his insane talent for the game, it seems like his team can't catch up with him. Whenever a ball is not well received, Kageyama instantly blames his other teammates. He has been playing volleyball since he was a child, and he thinks that as a setter, he has to control the game. He wants to control the players around him. He wants them to play how he wants it to. That's why he is called the king of the court. Not because he is the king who can rule and control everything, but because he wants to rule and control but he can't. His disregard towards his teammates makes him hated by his teammates. He gets disappointed when an unskilled player scores a point against his team, always thinking that if I am the better player, how is that possible? This shows how much he underestimates the power of weak people in a team working in coordination, aka teamwork. What use is his talent if even his own teammates don't like to play with him and hell even coordinate with him? Coordination and understanding is probably the biggest hurdle which Kageyama faces throughout the entirety of the season, and the anime beautifully depicts his journey through this. This episode is enough for the audience to paint a picture of Kageyama in their heads, but then he joins Karasuno, and in comes Daichi-san, the character who is really underrated. Daichi, despite knowing what the raw talent Kageyama possesses is national level, he still tells him to fuck off if he isn't ready to play as a team. Daichi realizing this on the first meet with Kageyama is in fact amazing. Kageyama then barely coordinates with Hinata and gets in the team, and hence begins the greatest development of a character in Haikyuu. Along with Daichi, many other team members of Karasuno are introduced, all of them having different personalities, but one common thing being their love for volleyball. Why Kageyama particularly stands out to me is because for other characters like Hinata, Daichi, Tanaka and Nishinoya, volleyball is something they like to play, something they are dedicated towards. Even for Hinata, volleyball is a way of life which he likes to pursue because he thinks it's cool. But for Kageyama, volleyball is the only way of life. His mind, his body is 100 times more dedicated to volleyball because of this. For him, it's not a game, it's his life. And it's apparent throughout the series. Kageyama's seriousness doesn't only end at volleyball. He is just as serious about all the things in his life in general. And because of this, he always used to blame his other teammates, thinking if I am giving my 100% and if I am so serious, then why aren't they being as serious as me? Subtle and small incidences throughout the anime show him being serious even when choosing a drink which he practically buys every day and still thinks a lot about it. That's just how he is. This also translates to volleyball. He gives a bad toss, he thinks about it a lot. Even though that one toss didn't partially affect the game on the overall scale, but Kageyama still doesn't go easy on himself. From this we can deduce that Kageyama is an analytical type of personality. People can be largely classified into two types, intuitive or analytical. Intuitive people who are good at certain things are just good and they do it better than the others without knowing exactly what they are doing. For example, Hinata is an intuitive person. He doesn't know how he runs, jumps and matches himself exactly with the toss to hit that spike perfectly. He just does it. Even if you ask him to explain, he won't be able to. But that doesn't discredit that he can hit his spikes efficiently. On the other hand, analytical people are more of those who analyze, interpret and then learn. It doesn't naturally come to them. Some of you may have felt that when you watch a tutorial on YouTube and then you understand how to do that thing. If yes, then you are an analytical person. Analytical people, because of this, can explain what they are doing and why they are doing certain things, because they have consciously put effort and mastered it. And Kageyama is no different. Diving a little further into the anime, when it seems that Kageyama has finally become a team player, but truly he still isn't there yet. Throughout the show, you can clearly see that he always keeps even his own teammates at a certain distance. They play with him all day, but this barrier which he has set up doesn't make them his friends. This part is also well written because it depicts how reality actually is. Ego of a person just doesn't go away that fast. The incident I'm talking about is when Kageyama and Hinata realize that their Demon Quick isn't being as effective as it used to be, because now the opponents expect it. Hinata then tries to do something different, which then results in him not hitting the spike at all. The spike which he could perfectly hit just moments before. At this time, how does Kageyama react? Well, not like a team player. He lashes out at Hinata, telling him basically that his tosses are perfect and Hinata is messing it up by thinking a lot and not hitting at the right time. Now, to be honest, he's right. The match was at that point where you shouldn't experiment, and the Demon Quick was Karasuno's only firepower against the opponent. The point being, players like Kageyama have to be given a lot of time to humble down their ego and up their team spirit. Even though Karasuno's players are always ready to help Kageyama, he goes alone and prefers to practice alone with bottles when he discovers a flaw in his toss. And this brings me to the next plot point. When finally Kageyama comes to know that maybe, just maybe, the rest of the team is doing great and the weakness are his tosses, he starts to practice. Well, yeah, alone, but realizing his mistake is a start at least. From here onwards, his character starts to change slowly but surely. His coordination improves, and also the most important thing, his understanding towards his teammates improves. He starts accepting other people's mistakes and flaws. He doesn't get as angry when someone makes a mistake during the match. The barrier which he had between him and Karasuno's other players slowly starts diminishing. And then he himself and also the audience can't help but notice how freaking strong Karasuno has gotten. Finally, the growing teamwork, the understanding and the coordination had made the once fallen giants rise again. Realizing that him mixing up with his teammates made his game and even Karasuno's game much more better in general, he finally started to enjoy volleyball. All this time Kageyama was so serious he didn't enjoy the sport. That was his downfall. But things have changed now, and so has Tobio Kageyama.